going on YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. It's a privilege and honor to be able to make these videos as we're in preparation. We're in summertime right now in preparation for fall. Today, guys, we're going back to the topic of fall overseeding, new lawn seeding. We talked about in previous videos about GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue. I did a comparison video versus GCI Cool Blue. I've used both of those products in my lawn, and I like to only talk about things on my channel that I've had experience with or know somewhat what I'm talking about or have an opinion on it. And today we're going to go and do the very same thing, but we want to kind of ask a question and also share a different brand with you, that brand being Jonathan Green. There's many different seed options out there with the Jonathan Green brand, and it goes to ask the question, which is what I wanted to try to title this video, does one seed fit all for your lawn, if that makes sense? And I'm going to use myself an example in that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So when we're talking about seeding our lawn, does one seed, such as GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue, as Jonathan Green Black Beauty, will one seed do the job for the entire lawn that we have? The answer may be no, and that was the case. That's true for me. Many of the subscribers of this channel know that I have multiple brands and multiple types of blends in my lawn, and it looks fantastic. Here is what my lawn looked like this past fall for those that may not be subscribers or may be new to my channel. This is a blend of GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue. This is a blend of Triple Threat Fescue blend, which is a local blend of grass seed. This is some GCI Spreader Elite in my back lawn. It's also on the edge of the woods, which we're going to kind of talk about today, Jonathan Green Dense Shade Mix. We also have in the front yard a little splash of Jonathan Green Solar Green. So the point being, I've got many different blends in my lawn for different purposes, mainly in my backyard here. And again, subscribers have probably heard this before. So in my backyard, my seed is 2 years old, if you don't know that, and we've made it through one summer. We're working on summer 2 as we make this recording right here in August. But in my back area, in the beginning of my lawn care journey, year 1, year 2, I started noticing my GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue, which is what I had in my backyard, every summer when we got into June, July. Number one, I was lacking water and watering my lawn, but number two, I noticed it began to die off a lot under the trees and in the shade. I began to notice that in my back lawn during the early spring, during the late fall, the leaves began to come off the tree. And so I had open sunlight in my whole entire back lawn. Well, that was true for around fall time when I'm planting. But come late spring into summer, what happens? We get leaves on our trees, and all of a sudden I noticed, wait a minute, there's a lot of shade back here with all the leaves. Those leaves weren't there when I seeded, but now it's there, and there's a shadow along the edge of my property. And so I noticed that GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue did not do as well. Some of it died off, but where I had full sun, it did really well, which brings us to what the topic of this video is. You may need multiple seed blends for your lawn. You need to keep that in mind. It's true for my buddy, Mr. Blake, as well. He's got an area where he's got this huge magnolia tree, and when you pull in this guy's driveway, we did a video on it, go check it out in the channel history, you can tell he's got that Jonathan Green blend of grass seed right there by that magnolia tree, but he overseeded with some Triple Threat Fescue blend. So point being, in my lawn, I've got GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue Spreader Elite here in my back lawn, but upon the edges, along the edges of my lawn, as you will be seeing here, I've got Jonathan Green Dense Shade Mix for the reason we just stated. We have shade in this area. Now, your questions may be, well, Mr. Ferguson, if I plant a dense shade mix or if I plant some type of shade mix, what about when the leaves aren't there and it gets full sunlight? How is your dense shade mix held up? And I will tell you, it's held up pretty well. When it is spring and when it's fall, that Jonathan Green, the first year and a half so far, man, it shines. I'm almost like, man, this is some good looking grass seed. It's a blend of fescue, it's a blend of Kentucky bluegrass, and it's a blend of ryegrass with, I believe, a little bit of fine fescue mixed in as well. So it's not just one specific cool season grass like a tall fescue, it's multiple cool season grass blend. And so that is why it survives better in shaded areas. And ever since I put that down 2 years ago, I've not lost grass along the backside of these shaded areas behind me. So it goes into talking about the next topic we want to do before we close out this video here in a few minutes, is talking about real quickly the line of products you get from Jonathan Green. I know that you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I love GCI. It's here in my home state of North Carolina where I reside. Pete is a fantastic guy. We love to patronize his business and support him. He's been very supportive of me and my channel and my family, and I love to give my business to GCI. But I also have used Jonathan Green, and I also give a lot of props to Alan Hain, the lawn care nut from Yard Mastery, which is one of his companies, because he helped me with his lawn care book to get started in the very beginning from day one. And so with Yard Mastery, I tried out a Jonathan Green Den Shade Mix, which I was just talking about, which has looked great in my yard. And you saw it with some of the aerials from the drone and some of the pictures. So I quickly want to tell you guys a little bit, very quickly, about all the products that Jonathan Green offers, and maybe it's something that would interest you for your lawn. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Before we get into Jonathan Green, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the subscribe button. Check out channel memberships if you're interested. And if you want to be very generous, you can use the super thanks, and we appreciate it here on the channel. Just want to get that in there. Thank you for watching. So going into Jonathan Green, I guess the two most famous blends from Jonathan Green is going to be what? The Black Beauty and the Black Beauty Ultra. And that's very similar to GCI. And I think I would say the same rules apply that we did in the GCI versus Cool Blue video, Turf Type Tall Fescue versus Cool Blue, would apply to Black Beauty versus, and I'm gonna stand over here so you can see images over here to, I'll say beside me because I don't know which way it's going to be. But Black Beauty is straight up tall fescue. It does have, I just want to tell you up front, and Jonathan Green has commented about this, and they claim their seed will choke out any weeds that is involved. That's from them. But it does have like 0.2 weed seed in there. Besides that, I've grown Jonathan Green. I can honestly tell you guys, I don't believe that small amount of weeds in their seed is a problem at all. And as someone mentioned on the last GCI video, if weeds do come up with that seed later on, you can simply apply a herbicide and take those weeds out if you choose to. But with the tall fescue of Black Beauty, it has got rave reviews. It looks really well. And their Cool Blue version would be Black Beauty Ultra. It contains tall fescue with, I believe, 15% of Kentucky bluegrass. I'm actually on here right now, and it comes in 3-pound bags, 7-pound bags, 25-pound bags for most of these that we're going to talk about. So we're going to kind of move on from Black Beauty and from Black Beauty Ultra. Those two are very comparable to GCI Tall Fescue and Cool Blue. Number one, the Jonathan Green Black Beauty Sun and Shade Mix. Now this is what I think I probably should have originally put down in my lawn back here, because it gets sun. When we're talking about no leaves, it gets a lot of sun during those months, and when the leaves fill in, it gets a lot of shade. It's sun and shade. And so what they have here, and again, I'll put it over here, you can see the price. Again, 3-pound, 7-pound, 25-pound options here. If you can get it, let me just say this before we talk about prices. You guys are the homeowners of your own lawn. If you don't like the prices of this area, by all means, go find it where it's cheapest for you. And you may even not say, well, I don't need any of that. I'm just making you aware that this is some seed that I've used, and I think it looks, I've seen it in person and think it looks fantastic, and just want to introduce it to you if you're curious about trying something different. So here we go. It is a tall fescue, perennial rye, Kentucky bluegrass, and fine fescue. Very similar to the Den Shade Mix, likely just has a different ratio of those blends in there. It's a dark green color, which I can attest to. It is for cool season grasses. It says mid-August through mid-October, and mid-March through mid-May is when it's recommended planting months. I would recommend doing it in the fall personally. Excellent for sun tolerance, excellent for shade tolerance. Light requirements, it wants 4 to 8 hours of sun or partial shade. Drought tolerance, it's rated excellent. Insect, good. High traffic, good. So good, not excellent. So high traffic, if it's a high traffic area, this may or may not be the seed you want. And so that's one option, and we're just gonna brush these very quickly. So that's Jonathan Green Sun and Shade Mix. The next one we'll talk about is the one that I was using, and I don't see it on here right now. Where is there? It is. The Den Shade Mix. Let me just give you numbers again: 3, 7, and 25-pound option here. And going down to this section as well, let me read you this. It is a mix of tall and fine fescues, perennial rye, and Kentucky bluegrass. I think that's exactly same as sun and shade, but maybe a different percentage in that. So you'll have to look in detail. Tolerance, good. Shade tolerance, excellent. So if you have just absolute shade all year round, that this may be the one for you. Dense shade, obviously. Partial sun to shade, 4 to 5 hours of sun, excellent for drought, good against insects, and good against high tolerance in traffic. Planting depth, 1/4 inch. Germination time, 10 to 14 days. And we know mostly because tall fescues between 7 to 10, Kentucky bluegrass can take 2 weeks easily. So there you go. So you got 2 different shade options for maybe different sections of your lawn. And lastly, we'll cover one more, just to make this video manageable and not too long, and we'll do the shady nooks. I know least about this one. Again, it looks like there's a 3, 7, and 25-pound option for Jonathan Green Black Beauty Shady Nooks. And because I don't know much about this one, it says Shady Nooks is a premium grass seed mixture that contains our most hardy, durable grass seed varieties. Attractive, dark green, and deeply rooted Black Beauty Shady Nooks is perfect for damp or dry shady areas. Black Beauty Shady Nooks contains natural insect and disease resistant varieties that should germinate in 10 to 14 days. Black Beauty varieties root deeply, contain a waxy leaf coating to preserve moisture, have a uniform growth habit, and are grown by leading sod growers across the U.S. Highlights are the most shade tolerant turfgrass mixture on the market, most shade tolerant, grows in deep shade right up to the base of trees. So if you're having an issue growing grass by trees, this may not be an option for you. Requires less fertilizer and water than competitors, and thrives in deeply shaded lawns with either damp or dry soils. So if you've got one of those lawns that just stays wet and maybe that keeps choking out grass, maybe you can't grow grass around certain trees, this blend says it is the best for that. And again, 3, 7, and 25-pound bags, tall fescue, perennial rye, and fine fescues in this, no Kentucky bluegrass. Planting months, again, mid-March and May, and also August and October. Good in sun tolerance, shade tolerance is excellent. Light requirements, 4 to 6 hours of sun to dense shade. Drought tolerance is excellent. Insect and disease resistance, good. I figured that would be excellent, but they say good. High traffic tolerance, good. And that's all they got here. So now I know, and we'll end it there as far as what's on Yard Mastery's site, but I know that they also make like a Jonathan Green high traffic mix made for, such as the first thing that came to my mind is like a church mix, where you can put this down in areas where people come out of church and maybe walk through the grass to get to their cars. So there's different areas in the Jonathan Green line that I just wanted to bring to you to make you aware. You don't have to go GCI because you feel like Mr. Ferguson's telling you to, because your yard will suck if you don't use what I tell you. That is absolutely not true. You do not need to use exactly what I do or do the things that I do to have a nice looking lawn. Lawn care is almost like painting. Like some people may start painting one way, some persons start the exact opposite way, but they both come up with beautiful artwork that people enjoy. Your lawn is your canvas. You do with it what you want. Some people may just want to try crap all the time because they've got the budget to do that. Some people may want to do one seed, like my dad. They've got one way, they do it because it works, and they don't want to mess with that approach. So it depends on what you want to do. And some people may just want to buy seed and overseed every single year. They don't want to put chemicals in their yard. So it's totally up to you, the homeowner. And color wise, it does blend in nicely. There's only, if I get up and really look at it, sometimes I can tell, but it's very difficult to tell. Again, you guys saw the pictures. I bet you couldn't pick it out before I told you if you didn't already know that information about my lawn. So God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special edition video. I'm trying to release this on Saturday. If I didn't, then happy whatever day I release this on, because this is the day that the Lord has made. God bless you guys. Hope you have a fantastic one. We'll see you next time from Central North Carolina.